somebody who experiences, spends time out in nature and just lets nature kind of speak to her and feels the beauty of nature is probably going to write some pretty creative things. If you decide to write a little poetry or draw or think.
If we think about people as a source of societal development, then maybe anything that affects people on a deep level is more vital to the advancement of society than we originally thought. To better understand the societal impact of individual people, it helps to look with an economic lens, beginning with key components of human capital. In this case, specifically creativity. Storper and Scott rely on an endogenous model originally called the Romer-Lucas model to explain that non-tangible attributes possessed by employees contributes to long-term economic growth. As a continuation, Storper and Scott explain basically places with better things to offer attract higher quality workers, or the creative class. Richard Florida defines the creative class as people who add economic value through their creativity. And he argues that the presence of the creative class positively affects regional economic growth through innovation and expansion of creative and technological sectors. The accumulation of high levels of human capital in these places in turn incites creativity, and creativity then leads on to regional economic dynamism in the guise of job growth and rising per capita income. Basically, people with creative capabilities are the vital element to this sort of cyclical growth in a community. But artists specifically are key because they not only bring innovative new ideas to the table, but they also create conversation about these ideas. For example, networked creativity has been crucial in the creation of massive social movements such as Occupy Wall Street and the Arab Spring. So what do artists need in order to advance their own ability to be creative?
Personally,
Personally.
I need meeting people.
Mm-hmm.
I love that, and knowledge
Okay.
and sensibility.
Accessibility?
No, being sensitive.
Oh, okay.
Sensitivity.
Yeah, my father used to draw a lot, and my mom paints, like she's a painter.
Yeah.
So I guess it was the environment that let me be creative and draw.
According to Florida, it is important to have interaction among individuals and the co-presence of creative individuals in any given locality.
But for me, I love meeting people and asking people that not necessarily artists or thinkers, or I love to know what generally people think about particular things.
Quand tu t'assieds avec quelqu'un et tu lui expliques individuellement ce que tu fais et pourquoi tu le fais, je crois que ça, il comprend directement. Je préfère ça plutôt. J'ai eu moins de difficultés à expliquer aux étudiants, je crois. Et c'est de toute façon, c'était mon but, c'est que les étudiants comprennent ce que je fais. Et les profs, c'est pas grave.
But the main amenity that causes people to congregate together is tolerance and a feeling of belonging in a community.
It's certainly a need to belong to something bigger than you are.
Okay.
And because we're coming from there, so yes, I'm feeling much better into this kind of environment in general. So I'm even feeling better if I'm into the markets, food market.
Ils acceptent, enfin ils me font confiance parce qu'ils me connaissent. Et c'est ce qui est bien.
In one of Crane's papers that documents young children's encounter with the outdoors and how it inspires creative play, he examines several studies, each in which children build homes in nature from which to venture forth.
I think that children do get to feel secure in the world. They're freer to become more creative, probably, yes. They feel rooted in the world. There probably is a connection. You're thinking of things I hadn't thought of.
Maybe this is a coincidence, but maybe it is some inherent part of human nature to have a comfortable space, physically or emotionally, in order to act creatively. Looking deeper into things that stimulate creativity, I found a few similar things as mentioned before: freedom, coworkers, support. But in this same section describing stimulants of creativity, nature is explained as a restorative environment, or an environment that gives off energy.
The weather of Tétouan can do a lot of, give me a lot of energy, sometimes bad or sometimes not good. I like that kind of weather, I guess. A little bit of wind and not that hot with the sun like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gives me
Energy.
And I put them in the surface of the rocks so they can now take their energy from the rocks. And I constructed a whole city with these components of energy that come from the rocks. I mean, this is an utopia of everyone having energy.
Maybe the energy given off by nature goes hand in hand with the importance of belonging. Maybe both nature and an accepting community are restorative environments. And this article also explains that the experiences in a natural restorative environment may be conducive to creative behavior. This study goes even further to analyze the physical environments located in a space and how susceptible they are to creativity. And it was found that spaces with natural materials are generally more conducive to creativity. There seems to be enough evidence to show that the natural environment encountered by an individual affects a person's ability to produce this creativity, imagination, innovation, whatever you want to call it. And that creativity, imagination, innovation is in turn pretty important to the continuation of improvement of society. Though it might be a little deeper and a little harder to define than just that.
Ma relation à la nature est pas aussi profonde qu'elle ne l'était peut-être il y a 2 ans. Parce que, ou 3 ans, j'ai eu une grande période où je devais aller à la montagne au moins 1 fois ou 2 fois par semaine. Au moins. Et soit la montagne et après c'était la plage.
People seem to have maybe a deeper connection with nature. In a paper by Vanessa Sheehan, human imagination is defined as a medium for communication with divine intelligence.
Et j'essaye d'explorer d'où vient cette musique, d'où vient cette beauté, d'où vient cet enchantement esthétique qu'on a de l'art. Et puis cet enchantement qui est aussi lié avec notre enchantement par la nature. Quand on s'amuse d'un beau paysage ou la poétique des champs de blé qui naissent et qui émergent et des terres. Il me laisse proche de mes origines, il me laisse proche de ce que j'aime. La musique, la beauté, l'humanité et ça me rapproche de mon existence et ça me lie au monde. Voilà, ça me relie à la gravité de la Terre.
This is difficult to nail down precisely due to the abstractness of the topic. But we can't just let this felt relationship with nature and its very real effects on people go by the wayside.
J'ai travaillé une installation de plantes tout aussi difforme, tout aussi gangréneuse et très malade. La tumeur qui est celle que l'homme a propagée dans son environnement, le sang, la pollution. Quand je nage dans les plages, ils disent que Mouhamadia a les plus belles plages du Maroc.
These Moroccan artists' relationships with their polluted outdoor environments has inspired their work.
The pollution affects my work the way it is. We see it in the way that it exists.
Okay.
This is how it affects my work, that it exists. Because I could have just drawn, I don't know, beautiful landscapes like René, like Renoir, or like Manet, or like,
Those old
but
ones.
no, these works exist because these problems exist.
Yeah.
And the way that I see really pollution, it's really ugly and bad when you see it really outside. But I think it gets uglier when it gets to the arts. And I believe that this pollution, it gets to art too.
Outside of pollution, there are many obstacles faced by Moroccan artists, and obstacles of creativity faced by all. But if we remember back to the stimulants of creativity, some might say these obstacles Moroccan artists face offer a challenge or a stimulant instead of an obstacle. Regardless, if people come to realize and respect the effect the natural environment has on them, then more progress can be made in society as a whole.
So I think we have dreamed to be on the moon, and we are, so why not?
Yeah.
To live in a peace with the democratized
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah. Society needs people to think outside the box, and maybe it will help if we first think outside.